Two different vibes.
Hi, and welcome to Live with the Fenimores. Here we are.
We're live.
We're live.
And we are the Fenimores.
And I got it right this week. I didn't say the Fenimores live.
Well, 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
I'm improving. I paid attention to the notes, to the show notes that you gave me.
All those pages of notes.
Yes, got lots of them. So how are you, love?
I'm good. Well, it was an interesting afternoon. Any fans of The Office out there, if you've read my book, Pray for Them, you'll know that I'm an avid watcher of The Office, or at least I was in my 20s. And the best way to describe it is that right now I have a bloody stump of a foot, very similar to Michael Scott. There was an incident in our pool today with a toy lawnmower in the pool and me walking on the toy lawnmower, but not knowing I was walking on the toy lawnmower. So it's been a day. I'm just hobbling around and...
Your toe was not pretty. It was mangled pretty good. I think it's a beautiful toe, but it was pretty bloody.
It wasn't ideal. I can tell you that. I wasn't thriving in those moments. But I'm feeling a lot better. A little congested with allergies, but we're all going to get to where we need to go. I'm not worried about it.
I'm starting to think this might not be allergies, and I'm getting a little nervous that it's going to hit me.
Well, how much of it is psychosomatic, though?
I don't know, but...
You need to speak life. You need to proclaim health over...
I feel like you're doing this thing now with people where you're seeing people, and they're like... Are you sick? You're like, no, it's allergies. It's like, no, you're probably sick.
My car, you can literally run a finger over the hood and it's like yellow. I don't even know what to compare it to.
But that's because you haven't cleaned your car.
I wash the outside of my car on a regular basis. The inside is something that the Lord is doing a work in me about. You don't need to worry about that.
This is men and women in a nutshell. Men will destroy the inside of the house and get yelled at by their wives, and women will destroy the inside of a car and get yelled at by their husbands.
I just like to know that I'm not alone. Sometimes I see videos on the internet of men opening their wives' car doors and a water bottle will fall out and other things will fall out. And look, I'm not saying that my car's always messy. I'm just saying sometimes it gets pretty messy. Sometimes there's a rogue chicken nugget under the seat that I couldn't account for.
Your car is cleaned for a day and a half after we get it cleaned.
Yeah, and then I have toddlers.
Listen, we have two boys.
Myself,
we have two boys, but
I'm a bit of a mess.
I've seen when you borrow my car and then I open the door and the things that start falling out of the side of the car.
I don't know what's happening today. I'm very accident prone. I just hit my
I watched
tooth
it happen.
With that. Yowzers.
I'm wrapping you in bubble wrap.
Like Michael Scott's bloody stump of a foot. Full circle. Remember?
Yeah, no,
Who pops it?
I got you.
I forget.
I don't know.
Will you stop popping my cast? Okay, let's stay focused. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. Getting geared up for Easter.
Yeah, that's a big...
Easter.
How you guys doing with your Easter plans? Tell us your Easter plans in the comments.
Yeah, we got the bunny ready to go for the kiddos.
We also have the Instagram comment. If you guys are watching me look up here, it's because I can see your guys' comments up on the TV. He cast it. I wouldn't have known how to do that, but he knows how to do that, so that's very exciting.
Yeah.
So now I don't have to lean in and squint and try to see what you guys are saying if you guys choose to engage with us.
So Easter.
Yes.
A lot of stuff going on. We got church. We've got all the kids'
Egg
activities.
Stuff,
yep. I think about this a lot. Do you think Jesus is really a bunny? We couldn't have come up with a better mascot for me. This is a big day for me.
It's not a mascot for him.
It's a big day.
He's the lamb. I would have thought that it would have been a little more logically cohesive. Why a bunny with eggs? There seems to be a disconnect there. Because rabbits are mammals and they don't lay eggs. Because I didn't cheat in elementary school science. That was high school science that I began to be. But anyway, so I don't know why there are eggs in bunnies. I don't know. Look, I'm not a scientist. We've already determined that.
I just think that somebody at some point got up to the pearly gates and had them explain what to do.
Somebody started a rumor or something, and that's how it all got started.
Just a bunny, we couldn't have done better than this, a lion or a bear.
Yeah.
It's a little fluffy bunny rabbit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It definitely doesn't make sense. But you know, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm excited for the day for all the reasons. You know, there's just got an alert. I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
It went away. It must not be a big deal.
Yeah.
Anyway, where's everybody tuning in from?
I saw some California. I saw North Dakota in there. That's pretty cool.
Anyone outside the U.S.?
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan, good to see you.
Miami, Florida. All right.
All right, there you go.
Jorge Diaz. That's a good name to have in Miami. I feel like that's a real Miami name. Like, that's a name for Miami.
All right.
Yeah, we're North Florida, so we're a few hours away. It takes a little.
Kansas, upstate New York. Very good.
We got some Ohio in there. Very nice.
Where in Ohio?
Oh, sorry, that's on my screen.
Oh, well, tell us specifically where in Ohio.
Oh, jeez. Here we go with the Jacksonville, Florida. Very nice.
There you go.
Duval.
We got a Canada.
All right,
Indianapolis. Cool. All right, now we're just naming places. But it's lovely to see all you guys. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Speaking of traveling and going different places, did you see on the news today? Was it today or yesterday?
It was not today. It's like 3 days old, I feel like, at this point.
Did you see on the news 3 days ago the Blue Origin flight?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
All females up in space. I think the coolest part about it is there's like no pilot, that it's like remotely piloted. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
I feel like that goes into the conspiracy theories that I was reading about it.
Well, I just hope it was a woman that was doing like the
I don't
PlayStation
think it was.
controller.
That was part of the conspiracy actually. I don't think it was.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, so I don't know. I want to just shout out that I love conspiracies. If you guys haven't seen me talk live on something like this, you guys don't know this, but I love a good conspiracy theory. And my paramount conspiracy theory is the fact that they always try to make us think that conspiracies are mere theories. And here's how you know that. Let's do that word association game where we like say a word and you say the first thing that comes to mind. So baseball.
Baseball?
No. You're supposed to say a different word. You don't repeat the word that I say. You say the next word that comes to mind.
Okay.
Are you ready for the game?
No.
Baseball.
This is going to get me in trouble.
Baseball.
Football.
Trisha.
Fenimore.
Conspiracy.
Trisha.
You're supposed to say theory. So everyone always says, like, the next word that comes to mind after conspiracy is theory. And that's intentional because they want you to think all the conspiracies are theories. But they're not.
All right.
I'm going to get letters for that one.
All right. We don't have a bare bulb hanging from the ceiling, and we don't write angry letters to the government here.
Often. No, I'm just kidding. We don't.
So the Blue Origin flight, so they go into space, which is awesome. I would love to be part of this crew.
Well, you can't. You're not a woman.
That's true. But maybe the next crew will be all men. That would be nice to finally get all men up in space. I don't think that's ever happened, has it?
Truly, it would be a first. History books would be burning at the seams. They'd be writing and printing.
Shatter that glass ceiling.
You can't make me. Coughing fit number 1.
So
done.
So here's the thing. Imagine you're on this Blue Origin rocket. You go into space and you see this beautiful cosmos that God has created, and you've escaped the just boundaries
oppressive
of Earth.
Gravity.
No, just like everything that's there on Earth, and you're in this amazing just universe.
But then you're
God
stuck there with people.
Let me please finish.
Okay, sorry.
And you're in this amazing universe, and you're looking out, and then what do you hear? Katy Perry singing.
Did she sing?
Yeah, she started singing.
Oh, I didn't know she sang.
She started saying, "What a wonderful world."
Bless.
Well,
I guess at least not Gayle King started singing. Like, at least the singer started singing. At least there's a little bit There's a little bit of continuity there, and like natural talent.
But you hear that in your local deli. Like you go to you know what I mean? You go to
what do you want her to sing?
I don't want her to sing nothing. I finally am in space where there is no sound. Maybe I could finally get some peace and quiet.
Yeah, but you're in a capsule where there is sound.
I kissed a girl and I like it
that's a whole other thing.
Ear. I don't need that in my life when I'm in space.
Look, theories are that they didn't actually go there, guys. Like that they, But and here's my thing. Okay, the first thing that pinged my alarm was that they all had their hair down. And I just want to say this as a long-haired human being, that it looks nice, but it does get in the way.
No, you're wrong.
Because they want it out for the photo ops. That's I know. Right. But for me,
TV.
I'm
a TV man.
I can't even tolerate this with gravity half the time.
It's like $250,000 a ticket. You're going to do whatever they tell you to do if you're going for free.
Wait, they had to pay?
No, but I mean, if you want to go on one of those things, you pay like $250,000 a ticket to go. And they all went for free.
How long was it?
It's like 5 minutes. By the way.
And you thought the lines at Disney World were bad. But, ching.
Yeah, they don't pay the big bucks for nothing, folks. Here's what's even better, though. They get back, and they all start kissing the ground.
I thought only Katy Perry did that.
Oh, maybe it was Katy Perry.
I didn't see all the footage. I just saw the door open before it was supposed to, before it was technically allowed to.
The 5-minute journey, they kiss the ground, and then you get these poor schlubs that were stuck in space
in the International Space Station
for 9 months.
And they're just trying to learn how to walk again because they had some real struggles.
They're watching them, float around for 9 minutes, for 5 minutes, like they're on the Cyclone at Coney Island.
They were singing group songs up there, and the other people were praying for their lives that they'd get to even know, pay taxes again. They're like, anything, God, I'll pay taxes if I get to go back. Just send me back.
That being said, I can be bought. I will say whatever you want me to say about Blue Origin. If Jeff Bezos, you want to send me up, I could be
Would
bought.
You go?
Oh, in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. In a heartbeat.
I'm offended.
No questions.
Well, rub it in.
God.
You wouldn't...
See ya. I'm out of here.
Coughing fit number 2. Done. Wow. Not even a moment's hesitation.
Absolutely not. I'd be there in a heartbeat.
This is the difference between mothers and fathers. I'll tell you what.
You walk across the street and you think, disaster's going to strike.
Have you watched the news? No, I'm just
kidding.
Men
think they can land, I think it's like 60% of men think they can land the plane if they need to.
I think I did read that. And then there's also one where it's like, could you outbeat a bear? And some egregious amount of men said that they could. I don't know. But here's the thing. Okay, let's set aside the fact that they all had their hair down, because I agree with you. I think that was like a gimmick for the cameras because it's all going to look cool. Let's talk about how I saw clips on the internet, so it's real, where the door opened before it was supposed to the capsule, and it opened from the inside. And then somebody actually went on ChatGPT and they screen recorded it, so we got to see their ChatGPT search, where they go, could a Blue Origin capsule open from the inside? And the answer was unequivocally no, because it's vacuum sealed or air compressed. There was something. There's some reason.
Can I ask you a serious question?
But wait, it partially opened. It looked like a flap. It looked like nothing. And then somebody walked over. I would walk over to mimic it, but I would have to hobble with my bloody stump of a foot. Some person walked over and was like, no, get back. This is Jeff Bezos' moment. And so then Jeff Bezos walked up the three staircase, transportable staircase, and he pretended to do this big unearthing of the
you had to get to his people. Lady.
But I swear, I feel look, the cynic in me is maybe they just needed to take a peek in beforehand, make sure everyone was alive and doing well before they let the camera crew in, because that would have been bad PR. But nobody told the inside crew, so they opened the door prematurely. And now there's all these theories that it didn't actually happen, that it was just some big gimmick as a Blue Origin ad. So,
first and foremost, are you going to invite Katy Perry to something like that? Or do you think she is just not sharp enough to realize that it's a scam and they're just flying around the earth a few times?
Wait. No, I would...
Be brilliant.
I would think that everyone would have to be in on it. You can't just...
You think she would keep her mouth shut?
Well, this goes into the incentive for saying things and, what kind of publicity. But I would say, if I signed an NDA with Jeff Bezos, I would be very contemplative if I were thinking about breaking it, because that is a very wealthy and powerful human being.
The more you talk, the less likely it is I'm ever going to get invited on one of these. And
I'm not saying anything bad.
I don't like it. I think you're trying to sabotage my chances of getting on a Blue Origin flight. That's what I think is happening.
I want you to stay right here, cemented to the ground via gravity with me and our children.
Do you think the Earth is flat?
I can only do so many of these in a night.
Because it sounds like you do.
I've never come out publicly. No, I don't. Uh-oh. Wait, somebody... Ow! Oh my gosh, my foot. Hold on. It says I'm in sleep mode on Instagram.
Instagram was messing her up.
Oh, that hurt my foot. Bless.
All right. So
tomorrow is going to be brutal.
I think we could put the space talk to bed because you've ruined my chances at Blue Origin at the moment.
I think we could, but whatever. Anyway, go out and earn it like Katy Perry and Gayle King did. You know, earn it the old-fashioned way.
Be a woman?
No.
Be friends with Oprah. That's the old-fashioned way.
That is the old-fashioned way. That is the old-fashioned way. I've got to give him that. There's no argument.
She was there.
I know. I didn't see much. I saw it. Was she like crying? I think I saw crying.
She's always crying.
No. Do you... Coughing fit number 3. I apologize, everybody. Do you remember like Oprah madness in the 90s? I mean, I would love to try to explain the phenomenon that was the Oprah Winfrey Show to somebody who like wasn't born then. To like a 22-year-old who was born in a post 9/11 world who just doesn't understand the lives that were lived before that.
She gave away cars, so she cool.
I mean, that show was a cultural juggernaut. I mean, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, it did like 11 million viewers at like 2 in the afternoon, which is insane.
Was it 2? I thought it was 4.
See, what do I know?
You don't.
I guess it depends on where you are.
Yeah. She had a lot of questionable shows. She had a lot of very emotional shows. There were a lot of iconic moments on her shows. Okay. Tom Cruise on the couch. That was an iconic moment.
That was in the 2000s.
Well,
that was in like
even if somebody was 22, they're not going to remember that. They were probably 4. They're not watching Oprah Winfrey, and if they were, they're not remembering it. You know?
Oh, Tom Cruise. Thank you for all you've done.
For what?
You know, Top Gun, Mission Impossible, things like that. I appreciate you.
Speaking of stories about our marriage in Top Gun, we've gotten some questions about the musical score in the background. Sweetheart, would you like to share the story and I'll just interrupt you intermittently, or should I start the story?
You're going to interrupt me no matter what, I would think, because I'm probably going to get some of it wrong. So I welcome it.
I'll start the story and take it up to the point where I start coughing, which will probably be very early in the story.
Okay, I'll get ready to jump in.
All right, so James and I here got married in late 2018 in Charleston, South Carolina. Why are you looking? You're making me very nervous at how you're looking.
Why don't you tell them what it is first?
Oh, okay. I'm like, a long, long time ago, we got married. So this is the song Faithfully by Journey. May I proceed?
Go
Your
ahead.
Honor? Okay. And so we got married in Charleston, South Carolina, because I'm from the Midwest. He's a New Yorker, born and raised. And so we figured we would make everybody travel to our wedding.
No favorites.
And so we made a list of places we were sorting through. I got to speed this story up. So we...
All right. So we went to Charleston, South Carolina. While we were there planning the wedding, we got like one of them string quartet thingamajigs. And I thought it was awesome because we saw like all the music they played, and it wasn't just like, you know, Beethoven. I didn't know this at the time that they did stuff like this. There was a lot of like pop music.
Yep.
So I'm like,
probably some Katy Perry in there.
There definitely was Katy Perry in there.
Circle back.
So I was like, oh, this is cool. Oh, look at this Journey. They'll do Faithfully. I said, let's have them do Faithfully. Trisha looks me dead in the face, and she goes, we are not having Faithfully played at our wedding.
I remember exactly where we were. We were in the car on our way to dinner reservations at a place called Magnolia's, which if you haven't eaten there in Charleston, South Carolina, you better go on and do it. And so I looked at him and I go, we are not having Journey play at our wedding ceremony. Like, it's a rock and roll band. This is I almost said a somber event. It wasn't a somber event. It was
It was for a lot of hearts that were breaking that I was off the market.
Okay, Okay, you've got to take it. I'm gonna go into a coughing fit.
So anyway, we go to dinner. I thought my hope was done. We're walking out from dinner. We're walking around downtown.
No, you missed it. We got in like a disagreement in the car about Journey.
I know, but this
and you were defending the honor of Journey, and I was like, we are absolutely not playing Journey at our wedding ceremony.
I don't even think you knew what the song was.
No, because you played it in the car.
Yeah.
You played it trying to convince me, and like, look, it was nice. It was a nice song.
No, it's
but it wasn't.
On our wall.
But it wasn't enough to convince me. It was
nice
still
song.
Journey. Like I still always thought it as like a rock and roll band, and that it wasn't like serious enough for a wedding.
Okay, so we're walking downtown that night
after
dinner, and we're just kind of strolling, holding hands, being romantic, being soon to be newlyweds, getting ready, and a street violinist is there with nobody else on the street. It's just
he
us
was
two.
setting up.
And he
just showed up.
He just started setting up, and the first song he starts playing is Journey's Faithfully. She thought I paid him. So in Trisha's conspiracy theory riddled mind, she thought that day I discovered that this string quartet played rock music, that I tried to convince her. She said no. I then tried to convince her more. She continued to say no. And somewhere in between the drive to the restaurant where she was adamantly saying no, the restaurant, and after dinner, I found a street performer, hired him, had him set up 6 blocks from where we were, and start the minute he saw us.
I mean, when you say it like that, it seems very feasible because the other way is absurd. The other way is like, it really is nothing short of God in that moment. And so what did my sweet romantic fiance do? We started dancing on the street corner, and he sang to me Under the Stars as I looked up at the stars. And then afterwards, I looked at him and I was like, all right, I guess we're having Journey at the wedding.
He was worth every penny.
Okay, wait. I'm on to another. I lost count of which coughing fit.
I didn't actually pay the guy. It just was total chance.
But now tell him what happened at the wedding with the song.
So then at the wedding, I made.
So the ceremony took place. It was lovely.
It was beautiful.
Not a dry eye in the house, except yours, which is another thing.
I convinced Trisha to blow the budget on a band. We had this amazing band that we love. We're obsessed with them. And they don't do encores.
We didn't know that.
And they're playing their last song, and I'm going around the dance floor, and I'm telling all my friends and all of Trisha's friends and our family, like, do not let them leave. We're going like 1970s rock concert when encores were real things. And you wouldn't let the band leave until they played another song.
And not a planned.
Yeah, not like some planned, we're going to dim the lights and everybody's going to disappear for 5 minutes. And then but
no one's going to break down the instruments.
And by the way, play our best songs that everybody's been waiting for all night.
Cause traffic out.
Yeah. So we go nuts. I mean, we're chanting encore. Like it's a rock concert. And our wedding planner, God bless her heart.
Well, wait, I want to add something in. The manager of this band was going around saying they do not do encores. They do not do encores. So the Midwesterner in me was like, we have to stop chanting encore. We're making them feel uncomfortable. They don't do encores. They're not going to do it. We might as well
And the New Yorker in me goes, want to bet?
That's literally what he said.
Want to bet? So our wedding planner had like a tip for them that we plan on giving them no matter what, but in her genius move, she goes, look, got a little something here from the bride and groom if they do another song.
Was that how she delivered the news?
That's how I imagine she delivered the news.
The story is better that way. She was a nice young lady from the deep south. I don't think she was delivering the...
She wasn't my Uncle Tony. So, anyway, they all huddle up, and the way they tell the story, there were 2 songs they were deciding between. They didn't know what to do.
It was a hotly contested debate.
Neither one of them were on their set list. They don't play the songs ever. Yeah. And sure enough, they go with one of the songs. They start playing it. What song is it? Bam, Faithfully.
At the end of our wedding, that was the last song, just by... if you want to call it chance, you can, but that's not giving credit where credit is due. Because, man, was that an absolutely mind-blowing moment. And then ever since then,
and
that's
she thought I planned that one too, by the way.
Well, you should be flattered that I give you so much credit, that I think you're so intelligent.
I am flattered.
You are a planner, after all.
I am a planner.
I looked at him, I go, how did you get them to play this? And he was just like, I didn't.
I didn't.
Which was amazing.
The big guy did.
So.
Although one song was surprised and planned at our wedding. Ironically, making fun of the string quartet and the types of songs they play, my wife. And she had them learn.
You got to pick one. I wasn't like a bridezilla. You got to pick one song that they learned.
No. You asked them to learn it.
I thought you got to pick
that was the regular band. We had them learn our wedding song.
Oh, that's right.
You just sent them a note, and you actually did them a favor because it ended up becoming the biggest movie in the world.
Well, I have a video coming up.
If you just lean this way.
What?
You can see right behind her is a Captain America shield. She got them to learn the Avengers theme song.
Because wasn't it right before that movie came out?
It was right before Endgame came out.
Yeah, and you were excited for that. So I wanted to surprise him with a little fun nod to
that was
stuff.
That was awesome. So that was a really cool thing that happened.
Do you want to tell them how you didn't cry at our wedding?
I didn't cry at the wedding, guys. I'm sorry.
Do you want to tell them under what circumstances you might have?
At our wedding?
Because you thanked Tom Cruise, so I figure now is the forum. We can...
All right, so... Yeah, I didn't cry at the wedding, but I expected everything to happen at the wedding. I expected you to show up. If you didn't show up, maybe I would have cried. Maybe you should have razzle-dazzled me and surprised me.
The doors open and it's empty with the big gasp.
Maybe you should have came in a red dress instead of a white dress.
I should have. No, you would not have approved of that. I did wear red shoes though, and actually walked down the aisle too.
Remember our
somewhere over the rainbow. They were like begemmed with all these colorful jewels. They were beautiful.
She used to have these jokes about like, what if I?
What if I came out and like had a buzz cut? What if I came out in a tuxedo? What if I come out to marry you? Yeah, and my dress is like a mini skirt or something. Like, you know, I just would weave all these crazy scenarios.
And I always used to say from the altar, I would be like, try again. Yeah, right. I'm a sucker.
So here I am with these hopes that like, okay, that she, what?
If she did her accent in a British accent, oh, Madonna Mia, why?
If I did my vows in my British accent, they would award me with the Academy Award for my performance.
I don't think we would actually technically be married.
Why?
I don't think it would be official. I
think it wouldn't count?
It would have been satire then.
I don't think that holds up in court.
Yeah, I think it would have. I think it would have.
I'm so happy that she reminded me about the accents.
Yeah, but so no, I didn't cry at the wedding. I something I'll never live down. Now I'm kind of glad I didn't because it's like a fun thing that we talk about regularly. Honestly, you know, you're a man, so it's not a big deal until what, men? Until
some random sports documentary comes on. Or in my case, Maverick. We go see it opening weekend in the theaters.
Yes.
After much acclaim and build-up in a post-COVID world, we go see Maverick in theaters.
And the Paramount logo comes on, and I start crying.
I literally turn to him, and I just see one glistening tear down his cheek, and I was like, real? Sorry, I actually hit you on that. I was like, really? This and not like marrying the love of your life, future mother of your children? Really? The Paramount logo on Maverick? That's what does it for you?
It did. I think I'd still get choked up if it happened again. Yeah, so that was a bad one.
I actually don't even question it. Yeah. I bet you would.
When we were at Avengers, I teared up there too. That was pretty bad when that happened. And then, thankfully, we weren't together at the time. But I was with two other friends, and I went to Derek Jeter's last game, the Yankee shortstop, in Fenway Park, because there were two friends of mine in Boston. So we got tickets. I drove up. And they're Red Sox fans, so they didn't really, you know, they were just like coming with me and paying respect and everything. And
wait, was it his last game ever?
Ever.
Okay.
I didn't go to Yankee Stadium. I said, no, I'm going to the last game ever.
Okay.
And
before he retired.
Yeah, so I drove up to Fenway, and so I'm sitting on one side, my buddy's in the middle, his wife is on the other side of him, and she's crying, and she's not a Yankee fan or a Derek Jeter fan, so I have my sunglasses on, and this is like during the intro and stuff and all these like video tributes. And he turns to me and goes, "You believe it? She's crying." And I just look at him, and I'm like a mess, but he can't see behind my glasses. But he starts to he like realizes that I'm crying. He goes, "You gotta be kidding."
That's
so,
amazing.
Yeah, I lost it. Am I from New York? Yes, I am. Thanks, Tammy.
Hey, Tammy. Good to see you. How's the hair look? I need to do my purple shampoo here. I was in the pool today.
Yeah.
That's where my foot incident happened.
Yeah, that'll do it.
We might need crutches.
Yeah, what's a memory from your childhood that brings a smile to your face, Trisha?
That's a lot of pressure.
Not busting up your foot when you get in a pool.
No, not that.
That helps.
That's a lot of pressure to.
For
do
me,
you have one?
Yeah, it's watching the original Top Gun. That's why I cried when the new one came out. Obviously.
Okay. Oh, I gotta think on that. Okay, we'll circle back to it. Let's go to the next. Let's go to something else. I don't know. Here, let's go to. Oh, wait.
Don't.
Show notes.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Wait, we did unexpected facts about us last time. Ridiculous wellness trends, desert island pics, weird food preferences.
Doing any of this stuff.
Funny everyday stuff like battling fitted sheets. Somebody else had a question that they asked that I actually missed. A childhood memory that brings a smile to my face. Why am I blanking on this?
I don't know. You have a lot of good childhood memories.
You know what? As a kid, I started a neighborhood pet show, and it spanned for 5 years. It was quite the legacy in my childhood. And the local newspaper did a story about my neighborhood pet show. And over the years, we had all sorts of exciting animals. And I was the MC, if you can believe it. I would get up and introduce everybody. There would be awards. There were different categories. There were dogs, cats, and other, which I guess is kind of a disrespectful category. But there we had chickens and snakes and rabbits and all sorts of things over the years. And it was really, really a sweet and cute thing. And so that's a memory that brings a smile to my face, is the neighborhood pet shows 5 years running. I did pass it on to a younger young lady after I graduated to middle school. I think she did it for 1 year and didn't continue the...
She didn't continue the legacy. Too much pressure.
She
crumbled under the pressure.
It was a lot of pressure in our... The stakes were so high.
She couldn't live up to your MC abilities.
In hindsight, I almost wish I would have continued it, but I was worried what people thought of me back then. I was going into junior high. I was painfully insecure. I thought that they would think I was cool if I didn't do that. They never thought I was cool in junior high.
Look at that.
And you know what? I really wasn't cool in junior high.
Don't worry about what
because all I wanted to be was cool in junior high. And when you're trying to be cool, there's nothing less cool than trying to be cool. That's a message for you kids out there. By the way, go to bed. It's after 9 p.m.
It's also a message for us old folks, too.
To go to bed. Oh, we got asked how we met. Why don't you tell that? Because my throat is starting to go.
Yeah.
I have a tickle in my throat.
So, Trisha and I met the old-fashioned way, actually. We met online.
That's true.
It's like the tale as old as time. We did online dating. And first of all, Tammy, I was the man in junior high. And
oh, Tammy, I appreciate it.
And that's where it ended.
The pep talk.
And that is where it ended. 14 is where it ended. I
thought I'd be cool because I could crack a few jokes. Turns out that wasn't nearly as important as being well developed in junior high, and I was anything but that. And so, alas,
your town did
my time in the sun was. Wait, what?
So your town did have a high teen pregnancy rate, so that makes sense.
Well, all right, let's not. We're not going to air people's sins here on the show.
What's sin?
Anyway. Let's talk about, what were we talking? Oh, meeting online.
We met online.
That's right.
And we were chatting it up.
Yep.
And that was always fun.
Yes.
But it was very weird because how we met and what we did is a great lesson on assumptions being absolutely the worst thing for you.
So first of all, I have to interject with the romantic notion that we actually worked a half a block away from each other in Manhattan, which is pretty big. And so the odds of us meeting should have been in person, but alas, it took this online company to bring our paths together.
Yes.
I always said that we would have met at the Chick-fil-A that was down the street from our offices, but then he would point out, no, Trisha, because you never order ahead, so you would be one of those schmucks standing in line while I would be walking up, grabbing my order and leaving because he's type A and plans ahead. And I live I live by the Holy Spirit is what I like to say. It's very of the moment a lot of times. So, All right, so go ahead.
So we would chat, on through the app and on the messages and whatever. And what ended up happening was, I would send her a funny message because I'm hilarious and charming and
modest, so modest
and very modest. And then, we had like some good banter. And then what would happen was I'd send her a note and then I wouldn't get one back until like much later in the day. Sometimes like it felt super late at night.
Yeah.
Now, chances are it was like 9:30, but I used to wake up at like 4:30 to go to work. So it felt really late. And
it was really late for you.
I would wake up at like 3 in the morning sometimes, just like wake up and I would see that she messaged me and I started to think, I'm like, she was probably on some date that didn't go well. So she decided to message me like in the cab, a little drunk on the way back after having a few cocktails.
Honey, for people like me, there's no such thing as a little drunk.
Yeah. So this is what's going through my head the whole time.
He literally used to think that I was like bar hopping and texting him back finally when I'm like buzzed on my way home from the bar.
Yeah, and just
Meanwhile, the real thing was like I would work in Midtown Manhattan, and then because I was sober and like, what are you going to do in Manhattan? I took all these different classes and courses. I was in ballet class. I was in astronomy, not astrology, astronomy, like the real thing, not like zodiac signs. I was learning about like
Katy Perry. Like you were Katy Perry.
Full circle.
Yeah.
No, I was not Katy Perry. Wait, what?
Yeah, like you were learning about the stars like Katy Perry just was.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, I thought she had some sign about, or some song about Zodiac, or maybe it's something else. Anyway,
all right, so
this
you were
is
like
getting
Gayle
confusing.
King. What do you want from me?
I was an astronomer in a moment. I joined an amateur astronomers association and I went and I showed up with a notebook once a week in Manhattan and I took notes and I did all sorts of classes and courses and all of that. And so I'd go out with my friends for dinner sometimes, what few I had that worked in the city. And, I would just be on my way home from living my life as a young, sober, single lady. And there he was with all of these nefarious motives that he ascribed to me as some drunkard. I can't even believe you would think I would drink too much. I mean, can you believe it?
Broken clock is right twice a day, and I guess I was at some point right twice a day. So anyway, I would just think like she's not interested. I'm more of just like an entertaining, because we had witty banter.
We had nice chemistry in the message.
But I didn't think she was interested because she wouldn't respond. So I just said, you know what? I'm just not going to respond anymore. And that was it. I stopped responding. And like 3 or 4 days went by with no communication.
No texting, no nothing.
But then you reached back out to me.
Yes.
And it was in the middle of the day.
It was in the middle of a work
during the work day. So that is where I think another lesson is here. Like take a little leap of faith,
Yeah. So I had, the conversation had died on our end. I had really enjoyed chatting. But then, it just died. And so I went back to, trying to match with other people and talking with other people. And we just didn't have that chemistry.
That je ne sais quoi.
That I'm French, not you. And I'm barely French, I think. I like a good croissant. That's about as far as I take it. But I didn't have that chemistry, and I really wanted to start following God, like where I felt that chemistry instead of, because what I had done was I dated like on paper, like logically, where I was like, this should be a good match because, he knows so-and-so and we're friends. And, then it was like, he's sober and I'm sober. And so we must be soulmates, and we weren't soulmates. And so anyway, then I just messaged him in the middle of the day. I was like, what? I'm just going to bite the bullet here. Like, what am I going to lose? And I messaged him 3 words in the middle of a workday from my cubicle desk at my insurance job that I talk about in my book. What were the 3 words?
She said, I miss us.
And I did. I missed us.
Like we were some like great love story of meanwhile we had probably sent like 15 messages to each other, but it was like perfect because it was like really funny, but it still like was poignant and made sense, and then I like leaned into it and played along that like we were some like amazing love story that like dated for years, and we just kind of played along with it and went on some witty banter, and that's when I just flat out asked you out.
Well, I think that was also the first time that we messaged in real time, because everything else was kind of like ships passing, because you used to wake up at like 4:30 every morning to go to work, and I was a bit of a night owl, going to sleep at like 11 or later, because back then I would drink like 4 or 5 cups of coffee. I'll tell you what, guys, you think I've got energy now? You think I'm a little anxious now? I can't even imagine myself on 5 cups of coffee. That's a long day.
She was a treat. Nah, she was wonderful. I just had more energy just so I was able to keep up with her.
Oh, bless.
So it was so then because of that, that's when we really saw that okay, there was real interest there. It wasn't just like I was passing time for her.
Right.
And then we decided to go out, and we went on our first date. Took her to a Greek restaurant in New York City. Which
I would never have agreed to go to dinner on a first date. If nobody's given you this advice and you're single, don't do dinner on a first date. It's way too big of a time commitment. Somebody once told me this. They were like, if you know at the appetizers that you're not interested in this person, you've got a long way to go until the check gets dropped at your table. You got to keep first dates short, keep them sweet, keep them surface level. I was always taught no news, no, like nothing controversial. And that you do like coffee or lunch, or even lunch might be a little
more. I agree with all this. I mean, and even as like a coach, I agree with all this. It makes perfect sense. It's the reason we did dinner though is because I did ask you to drinks.
Yes.
And you said you didn't drink, or you didn't drink much. I don't remember how you exactly. You were very tactful about it, and
I don't know what exactly I said.
But then I had a trip, so we couldn't go away. So we talked on the phone a few times, and then we realized, okay, let's just go out.
Well, I was okay agreeing to dinner because we had talked on the phone and we had in-person chemistry. Sometimes when you're on here, guys, that's deceptive. If you've got chemistry with someone on here, I'd been on too many first dates in Manhattan to know that this doesn't always translate to in-person. Yeah. I remember one guy I went on a date with, God bless him. We would talk about Seinfeld. Any Seinfeld fans here? We're really going down my sitcom preference list. I love Seinfeld. And we would talk about all these, Seinfeld quotes, and I thought it was, going to be this great big match. And when I said that I wasn't a big drinker, which is true, I wasn't a big drinker. I was the biggest drinker. And so when he said, do you want to get drinks? I'm like, I'm not much of a drinker. He was like, all right, well, then let me take you to the spot in the city that has the best black and white cookies in all of Manhattan. Which, if you watch Seinfeld, you'll know that black and white cookies is a big theme in one of the episodes. And it was a big claim. That was a big swing to say that you have the best black and white cookies in all of Manhattan. I'm not even a native New Yorker, and I knew that was a big swing. And that was a date that taught me a lot.
So anyway, back to me and the man you
cookie.
married,
yes.
And not some random dude that bought you a cookie. Thank you. Greek restaurant, appetizers, fish, wonders.
Wonders?
I don't know.
What are the wonders?
I don't know. So then we went out and we had our first
And then
date.
I liked you so much that I let you take me to dessert at Dylan's Candy Bar, where we got
Pro tip,
milkshakes.
Gentlemen, always have a plan.
For what?
Always have additional ideas. Yeah, be ready to go if it's going well.
I agreed to dessert.
I wasn't going to ask that if I didn't think it was going well, but I was like, okay,
yeah.
We're in walking distance of this ice cream and candy shop.
Yeah.
It's a fun place to walk around to.
Yeah.
It's a nice walk to walk off dinner, get to know each other a little bit more. So that was like my secondary plan.
It was sweet too, because somehow he planned, no, I'm just kidding. Somehow he planned to have some little kid there celebrating their birthday. He didn't plan it. I'm just doing a nod back to earlier when I think he plans everything. We went there and we were there with I don't even know, you had a milkshake. I don't know what I had. But they started singing happy birthday at the table behind us. And he started singing along. And it wasn't boisterous, but he was actually singing. He meant to wish this kid a happy birthday. And I found that to be very endearing and very charming. And so That was a nice thing. So that's our first date.
So men, if you could find a kid that you could slip a 20 to and have it be his birthday, happens. That's also a real hot tip. It works.
That's not what happened.
Just make sure you sing.
It was sweet.
Yeah, so that was our first date. And it was wonderful. It was
it clearly went well. I mean, are you going to tell, like, we're here. How many years later? How many years has it been?
It's almost 9.
That's right. It'll be 9 years together this summer, if you can believe it. I can't believe it. I don't know how they did it up in space with their hair. I'm like sweating from my hair being down right here. Can you imagine being in those, I don't know, were they polyester? Were they silk? I don't know what they were. The little blue bell-bottom suits.
A couple people have mentioned these. They're just Yetis. You can get them custom engraved. So go for it. They're awesome. I love them. They're my favorite.
They're not paying us to endorse them. I sure wish they would, though. That would be really cool.
That's why they're not this way with the Yeti symbol. Yeah, they're great.
And then if you see the pineapple on any of our stuff, that's because we got married in Charleston. And pineapples are like Charleston's thing. In addition to like Hawaii, I guess. But
yeah, well, that's where
but Charleston, that's true. And Charleston has a rich history of like the pineapple as like, you know, why you see it everywhere there, and it's really interesting. It doesn't exactly have the most...
I'll let you know about the pineapple next episode if you want to know.
Okay, we can describe that. I was going to say, we might not have time for that.
We don't have time for that. That's a good one, though. That's a nice teaser.
Yeah.
It's a very fascinating story, the history of the pineapple. Let's put it this way.
Oh, they'll tune in for that.
People used to bring it as just like a centerpiece. They didn't actually eat it. Like merchants and shippers.
They would like show up to a dinner party and like plop it in the middle of it.
They would like rent it and like lease it on like
That's true. They would like rent it to places and people
and just like put it as like a centerpiece in the middle of a table.
Yeah,
people would stare at it and wonder.
What are you going to share next week then? You've already given them half the history.
I have not. About the pineapple? About what they did with the pineapple? No, I haven't given anything away. It's going to be great.
Which has nothing to do with why we did that. We did the pineapple because we got married in Charleston. That's it. We didn't know anything about the pineapple before we chose that as like our, you know.
And pineapple's delicious.
That's true too.
Yeah, and we honeymooned in Hawaii.
That's true too.
Yeah. So it's a lot of pineapples.
Maybe we could talk about our second date next time. The second date's the favorite date. Second date's where I told him I'm a recovering alcoholic, but not because I wanted to. It was a very stressful situation. But maybe we can talk about that next time.
Yeah.
I don't think we have time.
Yeah.
And frankly, I can't afford crying tonight.
Yeah, it was weird. When I ordered like the round of shots to the table and you looked at me like I had 6 heads, I was like, I don't know what the problem is. Like, let's just do this. No, it's not at all.
That's not at all what happened. You would have.
I actually never drank on any of our dates ever.
I always found that very respectful. Yeah. I remember that about our first date. I ordered like a Sprite or something, and you ordered like a Coke, and I was kind of like, "Oh, you can drink," and you're like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Why not?
I thought that was very sweet. You know.
And we ride together, we die together. Bad boys for life.
Not unless you go on Blue Origin, then you're gonna die alone in the capsule.
No, I'll be fine.
With whoever hair is out there.
I'll be fine. It's gonna be amazing.
You're like Jeff Bezos. If you're what? Is it Bezos or Bezos? I don't know.
You want it to be.
I don't know. Maybe Lauren Sanchez is watching.
Yeah. So, what are you excited about for Easter before we wrap up here?
I'm excited for the church service. I think it's going to be really, really beautiful and wonderful. I'm excited for worship. I'm excited for the message. I'm excited to see people. This is going to sound a little frilly and like, you know, superficial, but I love seeing the sundresses of Easter. I'll tell you what, like there's no better. You want to take a look at some beautiful sundresses. You just go to like a church on Easter. I think it's so cute with the little girls and like the teensy tiny like shoes and like the, you know, the petticoats underneath. Stuff like that. So I'm excited, you know, I'm excited to spend Easter with our family and just celebrating the love of Jesus and the goodness of God and what he made freely available to all of us, even the people who don't like him, like the atheist I used to be. I'm just always so humbled and amazed by that like even people who renounce him and mock him, you know, the very people who were in the crowd as he was on the crowd, like he died for them. And, you know, it's on them that they couldn't see that. But I think that that's so beautiful. Like, what a love that is. I can't even fathom that, honestly. I really can't. But I keep trying to. What about you?
Cadbury cream eggs. No. You pretty much summed it up very beautifully.
I was going to say, I took all the high notes.
You really did.
I did church service. I took the family. I did Jesus. Like, there's nothing left for you to add unless you want to get fancy.
Yeah, no, it's a special. This whole week really is a special, week. I think. And if you go through it like one day at a time, it's a powerful week, and I'm looking forward to the resurrection.
Yeah.
The celebration and the thankfulness of the salvation. And the chocolate's nice too. I'm not gonna lie.
I love like the turnaround in demeanor and vibes from what is happening. I'm not doing thumbs up. Everybody keeps saying I'm doing thumbs up, and I'm not. I mean, thumbs up for Jesus, I guess, but like I wasn't actually doing that. I'm always very intrigued by the vibe of Holy Week, where it gets increasingly somber and serious. Like you guys will see if you listen to my messages tomorrow and on Good Friday, that they are quite somber messages. And then it's like, don't count God out, because he can change anything in just no time. Like when you think it's over, it's not if he says it's not. And so I'm always very inspired by seeing people really like, grasp the seriousness, but then also have like this jubilant celebration on Sunday. I think that's really beautiful.
Amen to that.
So,
well, I think that's a good stopping point. We had a wonderful time. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday, 8:45 p.m.
Yep.
Please join us. YouTube, subscribe. It's a big help. Like it, support it, share it.
Special shout out to our Heart Posture Collective members who are here tonight, especially the Genesis founding members. Special shout out to you guys. It's always good to see you guys pop up. It's good to know you guys personally. If you're curious about that, we'll probably open enrollment back to the Heart Posture Collective here soon. So just stay tuned for that.
Yeah, a lot of fun stuff happening there. Right now we're working through our purpose and calling in the Heart Posture Collective and coaching. It's been really, really cool, really powerful.
There's live coaching sessions. There's live Q&As. There's live long-form teachings. There's a lot of fellowship and amazing things happening over there.
And the people are the best part about it, definitely.
That's for sure.
The community is amazing. So,
but we'll see you back here on Wednesdays at 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time.
Yep.
For another rendition of Live with the Fenimores.
Any funny or fun stories that you'd like to hear or share? Send us a message.
Comment below.
And send us a message.
Yep. Comment below and we'll check those for next week's inspiration.
Yep. All right, guys. Great to see you. Have a very happy and blessed Easter.
Amen.
Take care,
Happy
everybody.
Easter, guys. Talk soon.